A very short list of the top 3 things that I believe at this moment are the most important to consider as we gear up in the battle against fascism, racism, imperialism, homophobia, capitalism, sexism, ableism, and numerous other intersecting hegemonic systems of domination and oppression. Number 3. Political analysis. If I was white, I would not have to worry about my family, their safety, their lives, not in the way I do today, every day. I could do my homework and study and read and live without these concerns. But I am not white. Do not want to be white. Yet, the anxiety of separation and intergenerational trauma, of immigration and colonialism and oppression runs through our veins like El Rio Quichapa. A border once separated my mother and my father, no, several times, even when I was too young to remember or exist. Borders were already delineating the spaces of my life and so-called choices that were never really choices. Today, I am separate from my family, again. I call home every day. It's not enough. Was my choice selfish? Is it selfish? Was it wrong? Immoral? How could I's and how dare I's haunt me every day, drag me my feet as I trudge to class, because there is no resolution for these questions. And the pain they felt, the pain of the border, of the hearts of their parents, and poverty and violence and abuse and hate, I ran from that pain far, not realizing that that pain was now in me too. I do activism because I have to, because I can't not do activism, because my privilege is another's oppression, because I am a US citizen and my parents are undocumented, and my citizenship, arbitrary, random, gave me a million things the world didn't give to my parents. But ultimately, my citizenship will not save me, because in this country, my humanity is equated with my production. My citizenship will not save me. Activism is what helps me wake up every morning and get out of bed. What gives me hope when there is none. What gives me energy when there is none. What gives me power when there is none. Activism is a cry for humanity. Activism is a cry for justice when there is none. Everything I am today, everything I believe in today, is thanks to my family, friends, teachers, professors, books, Tumblr posts, Facebook feeds, memes, strange articles on obscure websites, church, TV shows, podcasts. Political discourse and analysis is not built in a day. How I understand myself and understand my positionality within society did not poof into existence magically with all the powers of wokeness already endowed. No one is born woke. In fact, most of us were born with our eyes closed. And we have to remember that every single day. The Tumblr posts at 2 a.m. that gave the sex education middle and high school never did. Frustrated friends challenging us and our worldview, our parents knocking some reality into us when we return from college after one semester speaking like a whole different person. All of these are essential processes of political analysis. Take it a step forward. How do we build when the foundations of our foundations are so shaky? We tear it down. And we rebelled. Number 2, Autonomy. A professor I had last year argued that there is a certain danger in deconstructing everything. If you deconstruct human rights, legality, justice, then how can you fight for anything? So, I want to sing an ode to deconstruction. To even introduce the idea of deconstruction was radical. It was revolutionary, novel. It is also as old as slave revolts and native resistance. Attempts to deconstruct white supremacy have existed for as long as white supremacy has existed. When we fight, when we deconstruct, as we tear the bricks out of the master's house we build. Maybe we mess up. Maybe we try and it fails. We try again. When structural violence and inequality are so eloquently etched into our veins, dispossession, slavery, genocide, forced migration in our DNA, abuse, poverty, and hate, systemic and endemic, a pattern so familiar, almost indistinguishable, like a heartbeat in our chest, what do we do when the heart stops? When capitalism fails? When we decide enough is enough and we rise in revolt? What is left if we do not build? If we do not try? We need our own systems, our own economies, our own politics. We need to be. Just as we deconstruct, we construct, and we build for ourselves. Now let me take a second. Let's deconstruct gratitude within a capitalist framework. Why should I be thankful? Thankful for the opportunities that should be accessible to all? Thankful to be an accessory on the multicultural, diverse promotional pamphlet for Williams Corporate? Am I grateful that historic and continual oppression and exploitation allowed you to accumulate wealth? Allowed you to build colleges? Am I grateful that the labor of Black and brown bodies, of people like my parents, including my parents, made your table, produced the food on top, swept the floor beneath, installed the tile below, mined and produced the stone within, and at the end of your meal, the cannibalism of their labor, their flesh, they cleaned and tidied and washed the dishes too? Am I grateful? When we affirm our action, our ability to exist, why is honor and gratitude tied to capital? That we erected a monument to colonizers, building haystacks in thunderstorms, but never stop a second for workers, for the slaves, not workers, upon whose backs the monument was erected. We honor the rich and wealthy and powerful, while women of color clean their homes, nurture their babies, cook their food. Am I grateful? And when the moment comes that I have killed my health, forgotten childhood and fun to achieve college, to make the world better for people like my parents, including my parents, the moment I begin to understand the politics of gratitude and question the authority of these institutions, am I no longer valuable? Am I too radical? Dangerous? By simply questioning, is there more to the Black and brown laborer than their labor? What of their humanity? Of our humanity? I feel suffocated on this campus. I am not allowed to be. I am not allowed. The material crumbles in my fingers. Financial aid becomes a burden. Are we just numbers? A gift endowed to? Where is my empowerment? Where is my power? Where is my home? Where is my hope? For me, here, there is none. Because we are quicker to acknowledge the hurt pride of the wealthy and powerful than the broken bodies of those upon whose power that was built. Like my parents, including my parents. Because this school and its hollowed soul does not exist in a vacuum. It is not the perfect community I was sold when I visited during Windows on Williams, the premier diversity program. Why Williams? Why talk about Williams? I am here now at Williams. Williams, as a matter of fact, is my home. Williams, as a matter of necessity, is my community. When Trump was elected president, I was not back with my family in North Carolina. I was here. We often like to think that we here at Williams cannot affect much change. We also like to think that we here at Williams have great influence. It is a startling contradiction that for justice, we, students, are told to go to DC and lobby, or anywhere else, honestly. Leave the bubble, don't burst the bubble. Because here is for the incubation of entrepreneurial, bright young minds who will go out and shape the world. Great minds, great people. Scientists, scholars, imperialists, racists, missionaries, Wall Street brokers, the guy that invented napalm, hedge fund brokers, CEOs of banks and investment firms, politicians, the United States' first drug czar, the first governor and president of Hawaii who advocated the destruction of Hawaiian culture and westernization. Great people. But Williams, the purple bubble, is not isolated from the world. The bubble is a falsehood. This we have to understand. We can build community. We can begin to deconstruct here because we are here. This is our home. And if we do not belong, or if we feel unwanted, we can make this our home. For all of us, justice work needs to start somewhere. Justice work needs to start here. Justice work needs to start now. Number 1, solidarity. What is solidarity? In my head, I distinguish it from allyship. When I say solidarity, I don't mean bullshit pins. I don't mean a frame on a Facebook profile picture. I mean that our liberations are irrevocably intertwined. Solidarity is not a performance. Solidarity is not convenient. Solidarity is not respectable or amicable. It is messy and loud. Are you prepared to break the law? Are you prepared to break property? Are you prepared to go against everything you have been socialized to believe true? Are you prepared to stand with us, even when it is completely against your personal interest? What are the sacrifices you are willing to make? We see churches and congregations and individuals and cities offering sanctuary. But what are the limits of sanctuary? What's the fine print? Is that really solidarity? If you only became interested in our collective liberation when it started trending on Twitter? The truth is, of course, many people do care, but not enough. Many people want to help, but only some. That's not good enough for me, and that shouldn't be good enough for you either. Writing this speech was very difficult for me. During the 2 weeks leading up to the due date, I was severely depressed and anxious. I couldn't do work. I had trouble sleeping. My head. I wanted to slam my head to make the pain stop. I was sad. I say this because the process of writing this speech was painful, hard, messy. It was not perfect. It is not perfect. Only after the elation of being surrounded by my comrades and friends, my community, as we ran through the night with the banner, 69 and 83 Hall. That deep and emotional conversations afterwards. Only after that was I able to, at 3 a.m., surrounded by my soft pillows and the silence of a quiet dorm, think, how do I mold the emotions and experiences with the clarity of my vision? This was an attempt, an experiment, to try to speak my mind in a way I hadn't before. We need to try, and we need to be okay with failing, because what do we have to lose? Nothing. Thank you.